Hey guys, M12 Warthog here, back with another episode of Strategy Guide. Earlier today I had a bit of a problem with my OBS mistaking my external drive as not as the file location for storing these videos. So hopefully, if you're watching this, everything came out well on video. So, what we're gonna do is African colonization scenario on Age of Conquest 4, and I'm gonna pick strategy and I'm gonna show you how it works. Although, of course, you guys want to see my input on all of the nations, just in case the one I pick isn't the one that you get to pick as well, because maybe someone else picked it first. Now, I got my eye on a few. Now, this is the first one I came across where a nation actually starts in water. According to this, it says that Denmark starts here. I mean, it would be just as easy if they started here on these islands down here if you wanted to be... I mean, that seems like the closest thing if you didn't want them to start on the pretty much modern-day Spain and Portugal area. England's over here, so they really cannot expand anywhere. Like, expansion is not really going to be a good thing here for them, because they have to go all the way over here, and chances are, by the time they get over here, this, like, whole coastline will be owned. Probably by then. Because if they don't, that's not really a good idea. Because if they do have a chance to grab one of these, that's just pure luck, because, I mean, you could expand here. Potomac, Egypt will probably go and get this coastline here, so you really gotta go in there and go in fast if you're going with England. Not the best option. Spain, I guess, is right near France and Portugal, so you probably wanna, if anything, seeing as it's right around most amount of territories, it starts out bordering one enemy, but border 5 undisputed territories that you can easily capture. France is, like, right next to 2, but is also near Italy, which only has, like, I think 2 or 3 territories you could go to. Then again, it's right in the middle of the Mediterranean. If it makes a naval unit early on, it could go to, like, one of, like, 5 or 6 different territories, depending upon it. Now, on the other hand, Greece has about room to expand if they want to. So does India and the Ottoman Empire, which is probably why I'm going to go with one of the two. Mainly the Ottoman Empire, because as they're expanding, I don't have to worry about borders so much as I can expand here, not worry about this being a border up here because of the mountains here. So if I expand here, if I own this territory, this territory, this territory, and this one doesn't count as a border, and you can reduce the number of borders you have by blocking off ways that people can attack by expanding through mountainous areas, which is also good, but will also sort of help the Indians as they advance. This nation here, I can't even pronounce that. I'm sorry if you are from there. This is ancient. This is the colonization. Eventually, the Conference of Berlin ended this war, and pretty much they said, based on the more value of the territory, the less you got of it. So people who got less valuable territory got more territory overall. It's just that they got more of it versus the people who got less of it, but was more valuable because they say had resources, such as mines that could get resources like gold, or places that had oil and so forth. And then down here you got a lot of nations, African nations. From the looks of it, they don't have a whole lot of room to expand, and if they do, it's going to be a land rush here to grab everything you can. Maybe if some people are desperate, they probably go for the islands here and around Madagascar if they really want to rush that. Some of these nations in northern Africa have great options to expand outwards, but what worries me is that they can really only do it one way. Like, this one can go down here, probably won't be able to go down here, as this one, Berlin, will, as this one goes here, the build, yeah, pretty much, all these nations here just will probably expand into each other in a matter of a few turns. 6 at most. And it really all depends on where they go, because this one could go directly up here. That means Ptolemaic Egypt may only have room to expand this way to this territory, and hopefully they don't expand directly into Ottoman Empire, because that's where I'm going. I'm going to try and expand as much as I can in every direction. But I mean, wars are going to start out once they realize that the most amount of territories they can have is like 5 to begin with. To start out with, really, before they have to declare war, and when push comes to shove, war will break out and conflict will break out. Now, another thing I want to point out why you shouldn't play as England in this scenario is those little lines are usually shaded in on territories that other people own, more specifically, territories of nations that are at war with you. So my guess is they're gonna start out at war with, regardless of whoever you pick, except for themselves. That's kind of pointless to be at war with yourself. And the only other time I've seen this is the Attack of the Barbarians one, where the Huns start out at war with everyone, regardless of who you are. Probably not the best time to play as the Eastern Roman Empire in that scenario. I'm just gonna toss that out there. Okay. So without further ado, Ottoman Empire sounds like a good one to start out with. Oh, it's all the way at the bottom, so I should be easy to find and list if they go alphabetically. Okay, now I started out with 3 moves. Now, like everyone else, they do as well. So in an artistic interpretation of Africa, which means that this isn't 100% accurate as to what went on during this time period, but hopefully you get the idea across. Okay. Number 20 there. 20 there. Just because I know the Greeks would probably, as soon as possible, expand into here, and I'm gonna block off both of these for them. I'm just gonna do that there. Gonna move 10 there. Gonna move 10 there. The Greeks didn't even expand into a territory, which is quite shocking. No, that's probably gonna be a border early on, along with that, so I need to save those up. Move that there. I want to move this here. Fast expansion versus how many troops you want to leave on defense is kind of a risky thing to do early on. But you definitely want to have some control over this. Oh, and they directly went for a naval fleet. Which, actually, not too shocking. I'm not at all surprised that they've done something like that. Okay, so let me go by 40 troops here. Put 10 there. I'm gonna send 10 here, but really, that's not gonna be a border because this area here, and we own this area here, and this is not a border because the mountains block it. Okay, looks like we're expanding fast. See, nations are already at conflict. I can offer to buy territory in this scenario, and I brought that up to show you, but to me, I'm not gonna buy territory. This is more or less focused on the conflict and fighting in this area. Now, normally, people, even after certain conflicts that went on to slice up Africa with the European nations or the more developed nations in this scenario, trying to colonize it, they definitely wanted territory, and they all wanted what they thought was a fair peace. Like, one nation got most of the Sahara Desert, and that was more than what other nations got, but really, if it's just a desert, there's really not much resources you can get from it, versus where other nations got areas where they had oil and whatnot. And eventually, sometimes people decide to buy land from other nations. I would imagine that maybe not all of them were accepted, but to some extent, I would imagine there definitely would have been offers put up for certain areas of land. And when you're spending military money to send forces to other areas to colonize, and of course you're going to need to pay troops, you need to hire more troops, and, well, eventually you get the picture on why they need more. Matter of fact, Napoleon sold us a big piece of land known as the Louisiana Purchase, well, us as in the nation I'm from, which is the U.S., for quite a bit of money, all just because he was running a little bit of a deficit with how he couldn't afford to pay his troops, but this sort of really demonstrates that aspect of this, even though that's not really that much of a big deal, as I'm not going to be using all of that. Okay. Now, I'm also thinking that I want to move 10 up here. Now, I want to get this territory next, and the reason for this is if I put a naval unit here, I don't have to worry about naval raids into these areas here, and I wouldn't have to arm them, which will actually be quite beneficial. And in that case, I guess I could move this here. Now, right now, I'm borders with India and Egypt. And I think I'm gonna go on my next turn because I just realized I don't have enough action points, and I rather prefer early on expansion over diplomacy. I mean, because when you're expanding, you're not at war necessarily. You're just claiming getting unclaimed territory. I'm gonna buy a lot of troops. Send about 10 there. $40 there. Gonna move that there. Gonna close out of that. And then I'm gonna tell my troops to move up to here. What you want to do is also, when you're expanding, is to minimize the amount of borders you have as soon as possible. That way instead of arming 10 territories that are only worth arming, you may only have to arm 5. Okay. So let's see here, what else would I need? Okay, so they have a lot of troops here. My guess is, with this naval fleet, they're probably going to expand somewhere along this coastline, but it's probably already taken. So my guess is they're going after the islands here, Madagascar and so forth, or maybe somewhere into the Middle East area here. But, down here, that's unclaimed. But I think this nation could easily expand and go for the coastal lines before they get there. I don't know, I mean, it depends upon how many troops they send here versus how many they send on land and who moves first and all that stuff. But now that I'm done with that, okay. So let me think, what do I want to do now? I want to move everything down this way and get these 2 territories here. I want to move that there. Put that there. Do take into consideration, now that I have this, people still can move from here to here on water, even if I have a naval unit here. It's just that if a nation's at war with me, they're gonna have to fight my naval unit before they move through here. And you do realize that even when they do move a naval unit through here, they could declare war on you after they do that, which is why I always move a naval unit, or take some of my a part of my naval unit here, move it into the sea area with them to make sure they don't attack my coastlines, and I will arm the coastlines when I do that. But for the time being, I don't consider it a border until someone becomes a threat to attacking the area or prone to attacking the area. Then it worries me a lot. Okay. I'm getting a lot of money, and this nation's putting a lot of troops on the border, so I'm just gonna buy that. Sort of tell them I got troops too. Don't want conflict. I'm gonna move this up here. Now, what else do I want to do? I guess I could start arming my borders a little bit more securely now that I got a somewhat of a decent foothold in case anyone just tries to, you know, launch any unwanted invasions into my territory, which would not be nice in any way, shape, or form. But, you know, we'll see how things go. Can't buy any more. And some nations already got taken out. Okay. Inquiries, diplomacy, and I have no diplomacy. But let me look at this. Okay, so Kingdom of Askum is the second biggest. I think, is this it? Yes, it is. Okay, so what I want to do is get bigger, of course. Bigger nation, more power. People less likely to attack me or maybe think twice about launching attacks on me. What am I going to do here, though? I'm actually going to send these guys a request for peace. Hopefully they accept. And you want to know what? I'm feeling in the mood for a sneak attack against one of my neighbors, who probably will least expect what I'm about to do. Either way, I think now would be a great time to do it. Wait. Could I? Oh no, I would have to split off there, so I'd have to wait, attack here, then wait next turn. Okay, 2 turns. I guess I could wait. I don't want to wait a turn, though. Like, they could arm more troops. Okay, you want to know what? I'm gonna wait. I think I know what I'm gonna do, but I want to see if I can get any money. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna have this nation here, this territory here attack this area here, this one attack here, and this one come out and attack here, but leave some troops behind. Okay, so let's go. Doesn't matter if we lost a lot of happiness. It's not gonna take a huge toll on us, provided I don't do anything wrong for the next few turns. And I'm gonna send that there. Small nation, it's easy to attack them early on. And right here is a good example of why. And I'm gonna move that there, put some pressure on them there. Actually gonna take all these troops, move that there. And then move this down here. Now, as you remember, this is the capital area of this nation. This is the territory that their leader starts out in. Of course, you can see mine because I've yet to move my leader. And that is obviously fortified, so we're definitely going to want to go in there with more numbers than they actually have. Way more. So what I'm going to do is get that there. I'm actually going to move this unit to the coastline. And because I've noticed they have a habit of making some naval units to sneak attack, in case they took out any, I'm going to actually arm this coastline here, send units there, and so forth. On our next turn, I should be able to attack this territory. And some nations have started dying out. And I'm going to go with all my troops here. I'm gonna put some troops there. And get the remaining there. And I took them out quick and easy. In a few turns. Actually, not bad as I thought it was gonna go. I'm gonna move that in there. I'm gonna move 50 here. So, now my whole objective is to now get another nation to wipe out and get power and territory again. I'm not sure if this counts as a border, because it meets it right here, where these three meet, I guess. So I'm just gonna keep this, yeah, there's dotted lines there, so yeah, that does count as a border. Okay, we got a message. Wolf? Where are they? Oh, I can see where they are. I will accept this alliance, and I think this is Wolof, yep. They have 9%. Or, no, 7%, but 9 territories. Okay. That is quite good. Having them, like, over there. That means we can see what they see, and that sort of helps us as we expand into new areas. Okay. No surprise, as you guys know, when I arm a border heavily, there's obviously a reason for it. You'll find out that I'm actually going to want to raid these people, so I'm going to sort of redistribute the amount of troops I have, so that way I have the maximum number on the land borders. I'm going to attack them from there next turn. The reason for that is that way I can, when I find out how much this costs, only 12, not bad. Gonna go here, all my units there, all of my units here. Now note, this territory would not be a border, because these enemies, both territories of these enemies are going to be attacked, but this territory here is still open to attack from this nation here. Even though that I see them as a nation that we're at peace with, I always arm borders, because at any single given turn, you could easily end diplomatic relations with someone and declare war at them. And you might want to take that into consideration next time you're fighting someone. Okay. Go with all of that, put that there. Gonna send all of this here. And just in case we get pushed back, I'm gonna rearm this up to about 70. Okay. So far, so good. Gonna send 64 units there. And about 60 here. And then I'm gonna rearm that. Okay. Now we got that nation out of the way. Now I think we pretty much own a good chunk of land, and we really have a line here which can only be attacked, like a line of bordering territories that can be attacked. So now what I'm gonna do is put 200 units on the water on my next turn when I have more money. But the whole point of this is, like I said, to block off this whole sea. That way you don't have to spend so much money on our upkeep for military defending these coastlines that are not really going to be a border once I have this here. Some of my bordering units may perceive that as a threat to me, but we'll see where this goes. I think we're in a good position to ally ourselves with Greece, because Greece is at war with Italy, and Italy's at war with Wolf, which is our ally. And no doubt this message is probably him asking to join our war. No, I don't think so. Not really in a position that benefits me, shall we say that? Oh, Italy did that, but they're only like 4 territories strong. I can see what they're trying to do here. You know what? I'm not sure. I think they might do something bad. They may not next turn to my ally, so I'm just gonna, you know, send them 60 coins. Show my appreciation that he's been nice to me, not declaring war, you know, that kind of thing. Okay. Now I think is a great time to end off this episode of Strategy Guide here. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, taking the time to leave any comments, questions, or feedback for me in the comment section down below would be highly appreciated. And for you fellow strategists, if you want to get into a conversation about other possibilities other than the one single strategy that I'm showing here that you think would work as well, feel free to talk about it in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys later in another video. Bye-bye.